Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day. Today's rundown is going out to two of you. Joe, what up? Great name there. I like that. Vic, you're the best. Great review as always. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. And Penny Yuan, Victor from Judgment Day. How I missed your journalism. You are too sweet. Thank you so much. This rundown is all yours. Things aren't looking good for Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn. Disney and Marvel are reportedly unlikely to rehire Gunn to helm the third film in the cosmic superhero franchise. Citing unnamed sources within Disney, Variety reports that studio executives have held a meeting about possibly rehiring Gunn, but are strongly in favor of standing by their initial decision to fire him. This follows an outpouring of support for Gunn online and an unprecedented move by the Guardians cast earlier this week, publicly calling for Disney to bring him back. The studio abruptly fired Gunn last month when some of his old jokes resurfaced following an online smear campaign against him by white supremacist Mike Cernovich. The jokes, some of which were written more than a decade ago, make light of controversial subject matter like pedophilia and 9/11. Gunn long ago apologized for the jokes, saying that he's changed as a person, but Disney maintains that they're unacceptable if they really do stand by their decision to fire him. Variety claims that the third Guardians will likely be delayed while they search for a new director. The film never had an official release date, but was expected to arrive in 2020. Yeah, this is going to be a very, very messy thing. I don't know how everybody sort of rallies behind a new director and shows up to set and, you know, looks at the camera with a big smile and a thumbs up like everybody's raring to go. This is going to haunt the studio and Disney and James Gunn and all the actors for a while here, and all of us as fans too. Certainly there's cause for this big dramatic decision on Disney's part. I've read that a lot of the executives had no idea that Gunn had ever posted these tweets or ever apologized for them in the past. Certainly there's a lot of sensitivity in light of events that have been unfolding with the Me Too movement. And people are just a little bit more aware of the permanence of the stuff that we post in, in a digital space like this. It's going to follow us around forever, people. So make sure you think about that stuff when you're tweeting and putting up Facebook posts and things. You don't want stuff to, stick with you that causes all kinds of bad repercussions along the way. I'm sure James Gunn has also come to some sort of peace around this as well. He understands that, and he said it in his apology. He made these nasty comments and these nasty tweets, and they don't represent who he has become, and he's ashamed of them. And it sucks, man. And I feel like the bigger blowback is going to come from Disney not rehiring Gunn and trying to make this work with him. But then they kind of have to adopt that policy with everybody, right? So it's very sticky. It's very messy, and I wish Kevin Feige would come out and say something about this. You know, obviously he's a huge corporate executive, and he's got a lot of responsibilities and a lot of plates spinning. But he doesn't have anything to prove, and I just wish that he was a voice of reason, one way or another. You know, he's the leader of Marvel, and I feel like we need to hear from him. And with all these problems in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, DC is looking stable for the first time ever, and they've got a new pet project. DC and Warner Brothers are reportedly working on a big screen movie based on the Legion of Super Pets. Collider reports that the project is in the early stages of development, and the screenplay is being written by Jared Stern, who co-wrote another animated DC movie, Lego Batman. The Legion of Super Pets first appeared on comic shelves in 1962, and is exactly what it sounds like, a legion of superpowered talking animals that includes dogs, cats, birds, and even a kangaroo. Variations of the team have appeared in several different adaptations over the years, most recently in a series of shorts on the Cartoon Network. It's unclear if the new big screen movie will use the same style as the shorts or offer new versions of the characters. This follows the success of another animated DC film, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, and DC in general seems to be more willing to embrace a lighthearted tone across the board with upcoming projects like Shazam and Aquaman. I'm not excited for this movie. I think this sounds crazy, and I think that there's a million other DC movies and television shows and, projects and properties that need to be greenlit before we're diving into the Legion of Super Pets. But I think, as evidenced by the amazing success of Paw Patrol, and as any parent can tell you, Paw Patrol is just this juggernaut franchise out there. DC is probably looking at that and going, we could take a piece of that pie with our superhero pets. It just sounds crazy. It sounds like it's skewing super young. My kid's gonna have quickly outgrown that by the time this thing is out there. But me as a lifelong DC fan, sure, I like Ace the Bat Hound, that's cool, or Crypto, that's fine, but that's where it stops, man. I don't want a superhero kangaroo or a superhero bird. That's just nuts. I do want a fantastic new Batman movie where our hero doesn't shoot bad guys and kill them and cripple them forever. That's just me. Anyways, let's move on. The first footage from Life is Strange 2 has arrived, and it's looking pretty strange. Don't Nod Entertainment has released the first teaser trailer for their new game. It doesn't reveal too much. It just shows the dash cam of a police car that gets turned over by an unseen force, apparently a person with telekinetic superpowers. These kinds of powers were hinted at in the recent Life is Strange spin-off, The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, so it's a safe bet that they'll be the focus of the new game and replace the time-bending mechanics of the first Life is Strange. Don't Nod will reveal more about the game later this month. Can't wait for this. I've got a lot of catching up to do, though. I have yet to sit down and get lost in Captain Spirit. Maybe we should do that for EP Live tomorrow. I'm a big fan of these guys. I really like Vampire. I just like their I don't know, their style, their sense of style, and the way that they kind of see video games as a really wonderful storytelling medium. So I'm very excited to get caught up on Life is Strange. Many of you have exclaimed and proclaimed your love for that franchise, and I'm looking forward to diving into Life is Strange 2. All right, hell must have frozen over because Valve is about to release a new game. But it's not Half-Life 3. The publisher's long-awaited digital card game Artifact is slated to hit the PC and Mac on November 28th. That's this year, in 2018. The game, which is inspired by Valve's MOBA hit Dota 2, will see players battle each other with more than 280 cards, and the gameplay was designed by Richard Garfield, best known for creating Magic the Gathering. Artifact will be the first Valve game in years. Their last big release was Dota 2, which came out in 2013. Earlier this year, Valve co-founder Gabe Newell announced that they were once again going to start making big narrative-driven games, so hopefully we'll be seeing those in the next few years. Valve also recently bought Firewatch developer Campo Santo and will release their next game in the Valley of Gods next year. Exciting developments. This is really cool. I'm loving to see some percolating news, some stuff, emanating from Valve that isn't just about how wealthy they've become through Dota 2 and Steam. This is an incredible studio with unbelievable pedigree, great choices. Again, a studio that understands aesthetics and editing down to an amazing experience. They understand narrative, in the video game space. They really were massive innovators with that whole way of thinking. Remember the cut sequences in Half-Life 2, where all these actors are expertly performing their roles, and you could move the camera and go anywhere you want to, like not trying to lock you in to cheeseball cutscenes, but making it all feel super organic. Can you imagine what that company and the types of creators that they can magnetically pull inside to work on Half-Life 3 could accomplish? I am so excited about that, and super stoked for all the Campo Santo people as well. They did an awesome job with Firewatch. Very excited to see what's next for them, so stay tuned. The Call of Duty franchise is making a new incursion into the world's fastest growing market. Activision has inked a deal with Chinese gaming giant Tencent to create a new Call of Duty mobile game for Chinese players. No footage has been released, but we do know that the game will be free to play and include familiar Call of Duty characters, maps, modes, and weapons. There have already been several Call of Duty mobile games of varying quality, and this won't be the first time Activision has joined forces with Tencent. They previously worked together on the Asian-only Call of Duty Online, which was first released in 2013. No word yet on when the new mobile game will arrive or if it will find its way to other territories. In the meantime, the next AAA game in the franchise, Black Ops 4, deploys this October. Can you feel it? Can you feel that game avalanche? It's coming, right? China is an enormous market. They're slowly but surely getting access to all of the creative output that is coming from the video game industry and Hollywood and all this stuff. And there's so many people there that are just huge fans of this kind of culture. I hate to call it nerd culture. It's just pop culture. It's the biggest culture. These are the most exciting properties in the world, and they're going to be getting them in some major ways. And then, the benefits for Western-based development studios is this massive injection of capital, which allows them to invest in new properties. And you know, it is kind of crazy that everything is so globalized. I've been covering this industry, the video game industry, but you know, all the tangential industries for a long time now. And I can certainly remember the divisions, you know, like I would travel to Japan and there were tons of things there that just wouldn't make it over to North America. The import idea, the idea of importing things was a much bigger deal back in the day, and sort of the specialization of content. I mean, that certainly still exists, but yeah, this is definitely a global community. We live in a globally entertained world right now. Absolutely. All right, that's going to do it for our rundown today. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow with a brand new EP Live, and our buddy Baruti is going to join us. So make sure you come back for that. In the meantime, we've got lots of other content for you to check out, so please do. If you dig our stuff, don't forget to hit subscribe, that little bell, and if you're so inclined, that sponsorship button too. Thanks for watching, everybody. Play forever.